Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us on This Is Now. Here's a live look at Naples, Florida along the Gulf Coast. You can see ominous skies and rough seas as the state braces for Hurricane Milton, now a Category 3 storm. It's expected to make landfall later tonight. And just moments ago, President Biden addressed the nation. Here's some of what he had to say.
We've already approved emergency declarations for Florida. We have thousands of federal personnel on the ground. We've staged and are ready to go. We have 20 million meals, 40 million liters of water. At my direction, the Secretary of Defense, Austin, has pre-positioned search and rescue teams, helicopters, and high water speed vehicles as close to the storm as possible, so they're ready to conduct life-saving missions.
The National Weather Service has issued dozens of tornado warnings, and parts of the Gulf Coast could see storm surge of up to 12 feet. Officials are warning everyone that this is a life or death situation. Christian Benavides has the latest from Tampa.
The outer bands of Hurricane Milton brought heavy winds, rain, and tornadoes to Florida's Gulf Coast Wednesday ahead of landfall.
It's looking like the storm of the century.
President Biden and Vice President Harris were briefed on the storm, expected to deliver life-threatening storm surge to coastal communities.
The hazards are increasing. Depending where you are, it may not be safe, certainly to get on the interstate at this point.
With time running out.
We brought blankets, snacks, toiletries.
About 1,000 people turned up at this shelter in West Bradenton, carrying what supplies they could.
Everybody's worried about the same thing, do you have a home to come back to?
Mass evacuations clogged state highways, with most gas stations in the Tampa area running dry.
I've been here for 38 years and never had one to force us to do this.
We're already seeing the wind picking up, with landfall still hours away. At this point, downtown Tampa looks like a ghost town, with so many people heeding those evacuation orders and moving to safety. But some are choosing to stay put, including this Tampa restaurant owner whose wife and 3 children evacuated.
I just felt compelled to not leave. I wanted to protect our home.
Milton comes just 2 weeks after Hurricane Helene ravaged some of the same areas, still littered with storm debris. State officials say crews managed to remove about half before time ran out and are prepared to respond to this historic storm. Christian Benavides, CBS News, Tampa.